as you saw, those divers, as they were going down, they were equalizing. It's something we do early and often. We don't wait until it hurts. And the reason we don't wait is because then you've got greater pressure on the outside versus the air. I talked about how a scuba unit works in the last video. If you haven't watched that, jump right over there and watch it. But when the scuba unit provides air to you inside your body, inside your mouth, throat, so on, at a matching or ambient pressure to the water, it's so much easier to do your equalization as you're dropping down, and do it continuously. Now, once you're at a level and you're going to be swimming around looking at stuff, you don't necessarily have to equalize. And of course, as you're coming up, you don't have to equalize. It pretty much happens automatically. So I'm going to be putting up a few graphs over here on the side to help me demonstrate some of the things that I'm talking about as I talk about equalization. When people fly, they're able to, or at least most folks are, they're able to equalize. And the big difference is, of course, when we're diving, we have a big hole in our mouth. In other words, we have a mouthpiece attached to our regulator, and that's a big hole. And one of the things I'll do when I have my students in the water and we're just getting ready to go down the first time, I'll tell them, okay guys, show me how you equalize on an airplane. They'll reach up, they'll squeeze their nose, they keep their mouth closed, and they push air up against their eustachian tubes into their inner ear there. And of course, the difference is that big hole. Now, having a mouthpiece on, and I've got some different mouthpieces here, the different size mouthpieces reflect how hard you're going to have to bite on the regulator or on the mouthpiece to keep the regulator in your mouth. Something that I found is that if I use one of the molded mouthpieces, now this is actually my molded mouthpiece here, but this is one of the less expensive molded mouthpieces by Edge. This one's called a Secure, and I'll put a link for molded mouthpieces down there in the description. So the regular mouthpieces look like this. They're usually today made out of soft silicone, and if you bite on them too hard, you can actually bite through them. This is called a Comfo bite. It has kind of an unusual little look to it. Here's one that's clear, and if somebody's got a bad gag reflex, then a shorter mouthpiece is better for them. Now you can do a molded mouthpiece, and once it's molded, you can cut it back a little bit. But again, the beauty of a molded mouthpiece is when you put it in your mouth, it just fits, and you're not necessarily having to bite on it. The form of your teeth, the position of your teeth and such are helping keep the regulator in your mouth. So like I said, when you're trying to equalize, and of course, that's why a mask has a nose pocket on it so that you can pinch your nose to force that air up in through your nasal pharynx area. And so that's where those eustachian tubes come in. Again, I'm going to stick a picture up here. Now, sorry, it's the best pictures I've got. And of course, I've got some others that are actual pictures, but nobody wants to look at those. But you'll see how those eustachian tubes are run and connect to the back of your throat, and then run up and go into your inner ear. Now those things are actually closed, and you have to force the air through them. Now, for most people, it's usually not a problem. For some folks, they have those eustachian tubes are very tiny, and they might have issues with that. So if you're one of those folks, you might want to check with your ear, nose, and throat doc before you try scuba diving. when you got the reg in, you're going to have to take your tongue and kind of close that hole where the air, otherwise you're just going to have that hole there. And when you try to equalize, is all you're going to get. You're not going to get. So you have to put that tongue over the opening or block the front of your mouth so the air doesn't come out, so you can get that pressure against your inner ear. Some of the other little tricks for equalizing is extend your chin to 10 and extend it. You can actually, most of us can actually hear our eardrums flex when we do that. And you go 10 and 2. Just extend your jaw. It's easy to do even with the reg in your mouth. And of course, you can wiggle your head side to side, also can help. And of course, we always appreciate you guys watching. And hit the like button if you would. If you've got a comment about a special way that you equalize, I'm sure myself and other people would love to read about it, see what kind of technique you use. Some people actually only have to swallow using what they call the Václavic maneuver. Each individual person has their own little technique. So again, I'm Bob Collins for Diver Supply, and as we always say, dive safe out there. Thanks for watching.